tried to be so perfect, and it was so fake. Because the reality is nobody is perfect. Stop setting yourself up for failure, because you're never going to reach that level of perfection where you can stand in integrity.
Welcome back, Life in Abundance. You should have been here for the last 5 minutes. Where I told my wife I tried Zen for the first time yesterday, and she looks at me with this like disgusted look. I'm looking at her, and she's like, "What?" She goes, "Is that where those pimples came from on your forehead?" I said, "No, I just tried Zen yesterday. That was one of my things that I've wanted to do. That was on my list. I wrote down about a week ago of things that I always thought was like against my rules, stories, beliefs growing up. And I know it sounds really funny to someone or stupid, but I want to try Zen. I wanted to do chewing tobacco, and I tried it, and I didn't really get anything out of it."
Tell them why. It's not like because you watched a commercial, but in the environment you grew up in, which was on a baseball field, like that's just what you did.
So about a couple weeks ago, I was challenged, and I had that I haven't really experienced like that much pain in my life, like self-inflicted pain. Like yes, I've gone through pain and have had things hard in my life, but like I kind of run away from pain. Like as I get older, I've just really
avoid it.
Yeah, I just avoid it. Like I like comfort. Like I like things that are somewhat easy, that are not going to challenge me. And so one of the things was getting tattooed. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to get tattoos, but I've been afraid of the pain, and I don't even know if it's painful, right? And then other one was try Zen and jiu-jitsu. And then I'm doing plant medicine here in a couple weeks. And all these things are going to inflict a little bit of discomfort and pain. Mm-hmm. The Zen, I grew up my whole life playing baseball through college, and I was the only guy on the team not to chew. And I would always hear stories about when the guys first did it, or I'd see them in the bullpen, they would do it, and they would like get real nauseous and throw up and all that, and they had the spins, and I didn't want that. And so like,
what's the benefit of it? Like, you feel like a high?
I don't know. I don't get it. I threw up an upper decky, which is what they call like on the top lip.
This already sounds so stupid.
I know. Everything I do pretty much sounds kind of like. No. For example, hold on, time out. So when I was in the golf, pretty good. I was playing with this guy, and we used to hang out with him all the time. Him and his wife, and he's a really good golfer. And we're watching golf one day at dinner or something like that, and it was a par 3, and all the golfers hit it into the bunker. And Bree looks at our buddy, and she's like, "Do you think if they put the pin in the bunker, they would hit the green?" And my buddy's like, "You just don't know how hard like this game is." And she's like, "I don't understand. Like, you play the same course. Like, does anything change about it?" And we're like, "Well, no. It could be like windy. It could be like could be wet, all these things." And she's like, "That sounds so stupid."
Yeah, because he's like, the ground, it could be hard. Okay, it could be soft. This is the challenge that we're going to give ourselves. How about like we move the hole around, or I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah, so, it's not entertaining.
So pretty much
don't
like
care.
Everything I do in my life, Bree is just like, I would never do that. That's
not true. I don't see the rush in it. I don't see like a return.
Okay, fair enough. Me doing jiu-jitsu, which first thought?
Yeah, a ringworm.
Ringworm, okay? Negative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I want to do plant medicine, which first thought?
Like the beginning of a horror film.
Okay.
I can definitely see you not coming back.
Perfect.
Just thought. When they're like, hey, we got to lock up your cell phone in like a safe, and you have no contact with the outside world, but I don't even know that I want to talk to you when you're high as a kite. I don't know. If
you do read the instructions they sent me, it does sound a little shady.
Yeah, 100%.
Like they're gonna give me the. Am I going with you? Yeah, they're gonna give me the address a week before. Like no contact for 3 days with cell phone use or anything like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, it does sound kind of shady. Another thing, tattoos. What's first thought?
I wouldn't not do them because of pain. Like, I'm tatted all over my face, and I wouldn't ever not do that.
But me getting tattoos is what to you?
I don't care. If it's something that you truly want, then I feel like you should do it. But if you're just getting it to prove something, I think that's dumb. I mean, all the tattoo ideas that I have, I would never put on my own body, but I think you should absolutely do it. But I mean, like, I don't know. I want you to do it because you want to, is my point. And not to prove something to yourself, but because you truly want a tattoo. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just kind of disheartening when I come home and I'm excited about something. And it's just like, first thing is like,
my thought is like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, go wash your body with Head and Shoulders. I don't want you to bring ringworm into my house. It's not personal. I'm just saying that's a thing that comes with jiu-jitsu. Don't care. It's just a thing. So tell me about your upper decker.
Oh no, I just threw the Zen in.
Yeah, and it wasn't that exciting.
No, it wasn't that great. Yeah.
Okay, so are you gonna do it again?
I mean, I did one today just to like see if I like maybe things would change. You know.
Yeah. Maybe your chemistry's different today.
Yeah,
like you might respond differently.
I don't really.
It was nothing.
No.
Oh, okay.
Could be the dose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 milligrams.
Maybe it's just your body's so big right now, it's resisting it because it's like I don't even feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just because you're so big.
Yeah. It's like this bare body is not going to be phased by this little decker.
Bare body?
Yeah. Like you're a bear? Grizzly bear?
No, yeah, I know what you meant.
I meant big like a bear. Anyways, this is stupid. Let's move on. Hey, our point is we're doing different shit than we normally do.
Yes.
Moving forward into this week, we set some new targets for ourselves, something that we do every week. Mark's last week was join jiu-jitsu. You did that 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly it was Zen. I don't know. Next week might be face tat. For me, I honestly just felt like God put it on my heart to go speak in beauty school. With my coaching program and everything that I'm doing in the beauty industry and what I believe I'm called to serve these women as salon owners, stylists, whatnot, I really want to start like from the beginning. And when I went to beauty school, I didn't have very much direction for after beauty school. I stepped into a position to work for the owner of the Paul Mitchell School at the time as his assistant. He needed learning leaders. He said, I'll put you through advanced schooling if you can come in and teach for me. So at like 18, 19 years old, I quickly realized I didn't enjoy teaching at all. I didn't enjoy teaching in that environment. I don't care if you're out of dress code. I don't care if you're tardy, whatever. I want to teach hair. And at 18 and 19 years old, that was really hard for me to do when I had to like check dress code for like a 38-year-old grown woman. I'd been like, this is so dumb. I don't care what you wear. I want to teach you how to do good hair. So anyways, I just was like so turned off by the beauty school initially from my experience in school. Not that it was bad. It just, I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be done and make money. I felt like I knew enough to go out and make money, which was clearly not true at all. So then going back into the school to teach, it was not my vibe. I didn't like it. I went off to make money and a lot of money. I figured out a clear path for myself of how to grow my business and scale. So I did that. In the process, I felt like I chipped away a little piece of my soul because I became disconnected from the people at one time and more connected to the money. And the whole reason why I went to do this was to serve other women, obviously to be successful, but I never wanted to compromise my life and my balance through the process of building the business, and that happened. And it happens to a lot of women. A lot of high producers go through the pressure of carrying the weight for other people. You know, if I don't show up to work, my assistant doesn't have a job. If I don't show up to work, maybe the other girls in the salon don't have leads. There's a lot of pressure that you carry as the owner, and also not to mention you got to make the money to turn the lights on for other people to work. So, being swallowed in that, I think through the process, I just became so tired. I became so resentful and burnt out. It was not a good place to be. It's like, how could I have avoided that? I really believe if I had better guidance from the beginning with a clear vision of what my targets were, it would have made it so much better and I would have been so much more successful early on. And so I said, okay, I'm going back to beauty school. I called one of the local beauty schools. I just so happened to know the owner, which was a school that I attended. And I said, hey, I want to come and do a class. I can talk about anything you want. Give me a topic. She's like, I would love like motivation. I said, okay. So I made the call on Monday, and by Wednesday or Thursday, I had a 2-hour class I was teaching at the school. So I walked in and I had my lead stylist with me and my salon manager, and we were in a room full of cosmetology students, so they're there for hair, skin, and nails, manicurists that are there for just nails, and then estheticians who are there for just skin. So it was a variety of people, but I'm speaking on business marketing and sales and ultimately motivation. I could talk to any crowd about that, right? So as I come into the class, I meet the teacher, the gentleman that greeted me first off the bat. He's like, you have the floor, you have 2.5 hours. So I was like, okay. So I either am going to go slow, I'm going to get nervous, and I'm going to fumble on my words and not be myself. Or I'm going to come in hot, like fire, guns a-blazing, like I always do in every situation in my life, I feel like, and just be me. And that's what I was. And so it's funny, I gave this, speech. We had a lot of interaction. The girls asking questions, people concerned for their own direction and path and wanting to know how that would correlate from the hair world to somebody that's just a manicurist or someone that is just skin. I mean that in just as they're not licensed to do the other things. And so relating all of it all comes down to the same thing. What you have to sell is your certainty and your confidence. And if you don't have that, it's going to be really hard for you to sell a service. And so that was kind of the basics of my, talk. And as a few of the girls that attend the school are in my shadow program, they reached out the next day with just so much anxiety, so wrapped up in the negativity that they're hearing after my speech. It's like, oh, everybody's talking shit and whatever. And I said, hey, thank you for your being protective and who you are, but that doesn't bother me. Not everything I say is going to be received well from everyone. I know that. I'm a strong cup of tea and I'm not for everybody. And I like that about me. So that means I don't compromise or change my standards for the climate of the room. The room conforms to me, not the opposite. And usually what happens in these kind of situations is you hold up a mirror to somebody else and they recognize what they're not doing in comparison to you. It triggers insecurities, it triggers fears, it triggers anxieties, and all of a sudden their reaction is in anger and negativity and not in love. And I know that, so I'm not fazed by that. But for these young girls, I had to have them see this to recognize how they are going to handle it and move forward. Because you could be swallowed up by negativity. You can be swallowed up by negative energy. Or you put your head down and you keep going and continue to serve as you were called. And that was something that I thought was so awesome for me to be able to communicate, but then also even better for them to experience for themselves and see. And setting the foundation for what they want for their career and something to build on. I want them to know how to react. I want them to know how to act, and knowing that those are two different things. And in business, we get them confused, and unfortunately, it comes with a cost, and usually it's people. People don't respond to you well. People don't like what you're saying. People don't want to hear what they're not doing. But for me, I'm just going to tell you so that we can all move forward, so that you can be better, so that I can be better. And unfortunately, this industry is so competitive because of other people's insecurities about what they are not doing. And for me, in this speech, I said everything that about me, my movement, and my program is to shatter the frame of the competition in the industry and create community. Our lights just went off. Community connection and collaboration. And so that's what we did. That's what we do. And this was prime example of that situation playing out in the real salon world, because that is how people act and respond. And you have to choose how you are going to act and respond, and only you can control that. So then we followed up. I hosted a class in the salon on Sunday with 2 other professionals in the industry, and we had 22 women show up to our class. They paid to be there. They chose to be there. And the topics that we talked about were not far off from what we discussed in this school setting. And these women, the ones that took it and received it, are already making waves just from Sunday in their social media, building their certainty in themselves and in their business and what they're doing. creating this irrefutable evidence on their social media platforms that, hey, this is what I do, and claiming it and owning it. Because if you're not going to follow you, how do you expect anybody else to? I think one of the greatest challenges for us is actually like doing what we say we're going to do and being that person. I am who I say I am. I invited all these people into my salon to see my fruit so they could cross-check me if they felt they needed to. This is exactly who I am, in front of my pastor, in front of my mom, in front of my salon team, in front of my clients. This is Bree, and she don't change. The room might change, but I don't change. So when it was all said and done at the end of my talk, I just saw these women all of a sudden see this force that they were, this power that they had, the message that they had to share. And the first step is so terrifying, to go live and share your message. These girls were so nutted up about this, right? Terrified. Then all of a sudden they start talking. I get them to send me a voice memo. Then before you know it, they go like live camera, like to the face on Instagram stories. And all of a sudden the girls that said they could never do a live are like, okay, how many lives a day should I do? How many minutes per day? Because all I did was introduce them to their power and give them permission to use it. I think this is so true for our coaching business, is that's all people want. They want certainty. They want confidence that will lead them to freedom and peace. So many times we hear people, they don't want to do the little things that are going to actually make a huge impact. So as we sit here and we talk about jiu-jitsu and tattoos and Zen and plant medicine, like, it's funny to us. The truth is, they're little things to make a big impact. This is part of Mark doing what he said he's going to do. This is part of Mark showing up as a husband the way that I need him to. How he shows up for his kids the way that they need him to. So it's silly to think of a tattoo on his arm to most people. But for him, it's something that he wants and he's going to do. I'm all for it. For these girls, it was debilitating to think to go live. But now they're seeing the benefits of when they do. And all of a sudden, the power that they hold, that only they hold, now I can't stop them. Now they want to go live all the time. Now they want to collaborate on their lives. All from a simple conversation of giving them permission. You can do this. You should do this, because that's what you want and that's what it's going to require. It's pretty cool. I felt good.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everyone's wanting, is they're wanting someone that they could look to that does it and that doesn't waver from it. Because so many people in this world and people that they know, they have this great idea and they never follow through on it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's something that for me, I've always undervalued about me, is that Bree and I have been an entrepreneur our whole marriage, our whole life. We've never had bosses. And it's something that I'm like, well, I wasn't super big. We didn't have that many things. But no, like we've done it since we were 21 years old. And if you take a step back, not many people have done that. Have started stuff and stayed with it. It's usually or
taking the risk to even start it.
Or you know, and have all the stories and have all the have just what you've gone through,
like, and your wins and your losses from it.
And now doing our coaching program, we are very public in how we live and the things that we do and the things that we struggle with, and it's weird to people. Mm-hmm. People are like, what are you doing this for? Like, why? Right? And sometimes I ask myself the same exact question, is like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Why does it matter if I get a tattoo? Why does it matter if I do a Zen or whatever, right? But it's about looking at myself differently in the mirror and not seeing the old version of me. Mm-hmm. Because if you want to change and you want to be different, you have to, like, kill the old version. Mm-hmm. And that's what these girls are doing in beauty school, is that they had a version of themselves where they were kind of like, I don't know if I want to do hair. This isn't for me, this like whole environment. And now they have a new like awakening, and they're doing lives, they're dressing differently, they're talking differently. It's like they're seeing themselves differently. And some people can do that just by going live and changing their clothes. Some people need to get tattoos, change their hair color, whatever it might be. It's like, but whatever it takes for you to transform. But you usually, I heard a quote today, it's that you're either buying certainty or you're selling certainty. Mm-hmm. And you typically buy things or buy people that something that you want. Like the coach I hired, he has a lot of things that I want. He has the certainty and he has the confidence and he has the lifestyle that I am attracted to. The clients that buy from me is the same thing. And it's like we are always buying something. We're buying certainty from someone else. Mm-hmm. Very few can muster up the selling of certainty because it's really hard to do because it's very exposing. You have to do what you say you're going to do. Mm-hmm. And not many people do that nowadays because it's so easy to do what everyone else is doing. Mm-hmm. It's so easy.
I think too, one of the important things is like we were talking about earlier, exposing ourselves at kind of our deepest pain. Mark and I dive deep into pain that we've experienced in our marriage here on this podcast, here in our lives on social media, whatever, but also the pain in business. There were a lot of mistakes that we made, one being a very big tax bill at 23 years old that I'll never forget that pain. It sucked. And how I get to coach and teach people to avoid that now I only can do because I know the pain of it. I experienced it. So it's really hard to lead people from a place that you don't live. It's really hard for me to tell someone how to make more money than me that I haven't actually made yet. I can tell you how to get to where I am. It's really hard for me to lead you beyond me because I'm not there yet. I'm going to be. I'm not yet. So I think there's so much truth to that, but exposing your pain, that is where then people can relate. I went back to their level, some of these students, and told them stories about me when I was 18 in the pain that they're experiencing right now, not sure which direction to go, who do I trust. I just think surround yourself with people that have the fruit that you want. Take guidance, get support from those people. And all I did for them was expose them to my life, how I live, and what I had to do to get there. And that was experiencing quite a bit of pain. And I shared it all with them. My tax bill, I shared that with them. My team's leaving me as a salon owner. I shared that with them. I made mistakes of not being able to communicate and set a standard for people that they ultimately wanted, believe it or not. People want to be led. And I got to a point where I was so sick of leading people who didn't want to invest in themselves or see it for themselves as much as I did. I wanted it more for them than they did. I was just like, I chalk it up to a loss and whatever, they can be here, they pay their rent. That's an awful way to run a business because then they're there by obligation. I don't want anyone in my presence by obligation. Be here by desire or don't be. It's that easy. And same for me. I'm not exposing myself to people. I don't want their energy. I'm going to do everything I can to be around the people that I want to take from. I'm going to do everything I can to create space, distance from the people that don't give me good energy, that don't push me to move. But that's exactly what this talk did at the beauty school, is it forced people to see exposed the things that they're not doing, and their resistance to having to do something different was so obvious in just the way that they talked about me. Not my problem. That's a you problem. It doesn't change what I'm going to do in my day today. It doesn't change the success of my story, what you are doing or not doing. And that's how you have to handle people. And unfortunately in business, like sometimes it's cutthroat. People get crazy. You have to decide how much energy and space are you going to allow others and impact in your life, and how much are you not. That's something that I've become so protective about or over in the last few years, because I have felt the devastation of giving away too much energy that was not serving me good, allowing people in my space that were not serving me good, and having to make those choices and change it. And how I draw people to me is not like, hey, come look at me and what I've done. It's showing up in my life in certainty and displaying that to others. If you do this, then this. And that's what we do, is we display our life on social media and everything else. You can come walk the day with me just to know what I do. I have no problem with that, because there's nothing that I'm telling my team, telling these girls to do that I haven't done or I wouldn't do. And they know that. So like going through the trenches with your team, you have to do it to know it. We have done that together. And that's something so important, I think, in the salon world, is when salon owners feel like they're above something, there's a great disconnect. I'm never above anything I'm leading my team through if I wouldn't do it with them. So I do.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not living it, you can't expect other people to do it or to follow you, right? That's something that, like in business too, when you have employees and you, or if you just, I mean, like your kids, it's a perfect example. Like if you don't do what you say you're going to do, your kids will sniff it out immediately. Mm-hmm. Your employees will sniff it out right then. And I always hear the saying is that your kids do not remember what you say, they remember what you did. Mm-hmm. And by going to the gym, by having conversations, by the way you date your wife, the way you handle everything, is like that's what they remember, and that's how they
will operate themselves. Yeah, totally. No, I think it's so true, and I think the impact that we're making right now with our kids is we are very open and honest in our household, to the point where Sayla says some things to me, and she's like, "Hey, Mom, can I say damn it, or is that one I keep in my head?" And I thought, you really shouldn't say damn it. You really shouldn't keep it in your head. I don't know how to answer that. Don't say it at school. It's probably not a good idea. But then I thought, maybe don't say it to your sister or me either. I don't like that either. So anyways, it just cross-checked me. Bree, if you say damn it, she can too. You better figure out how you're going to lead her. That's the truth. Yeah, and there's nobody to cross-check you better than your kids, right? Mm-hmm. They remind us all the time of the things we said we would do that we haven't done. Like, didn't you say we'd go to the park? Shoot, you're right. So, no, it's so good. I love for them to cross-check me and have the courage to do that, because some people won't speak up all of their life, but not our girls. Mm.
Yeah, it's funny when you ask people what they want in life. Most people don't know. Mm-hmm. And it's like they can bitch about their job. They can bitch about their husband and wife. And you're like, cool. What do you want? What do you mean? How much money do you want to make? Like, haven't you said that you're undervalued? Well, yeah, but they don't know. Hey, mm-hmm. I'm pissed at my wife. Cool. What do you want from your wife? Her to be nicer. Okay. Well, what does that mean? Well, I don't know. And it's like we don't truly know what we want. Mm-hmm. And when you get very clear about what you want, it's kind of a scary place to be at, mm-hmm. because you're like, oh, man, I got to do a lot of things differently. I got to mm-hmm. change things, and I got to be a different person, mm-hmm. Which is scary sometimes, because it's always nice to revert back to comfort. It's nice to go back to what you know. Mm-hmm. And when you truly figure out, like these girls in beauty school, when they truly figure out that, okay, this is where I want to go, but this is going to require me to like kill a lot of my bad habits, mm-hmm. and I have to change. It's scary, because then you do it for a short term, and then when you got to go, wait a minute, I can't do this. Like, I got to do this forever. Like, yeah, mm-hmm. It's kind of like when you start. It's kind of like when you start at the gym. Well, do I got to do this forever? Like, yeah. It's like, what? I can't do this. Like, no, you got to go to the gym. Mm-hmm. And so to have your mind wrap around what you truly want, but yeah, this is what you said you wanted. Oh, yeah, you're right. So why don't we just stick with that and just keep doing that?
Mm-hmm. Because you realize all the things in your life that are wasted energy that aren't going to get you to what you want. But most of the time, we don't look at what we want in the face and say, okay, this is what it's going to require. So you tolerate a lot more than you probably should, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that gets frustrating to me, too, because I'm like, oh, there's people in my space that are not leading me to what I want. Why am I tolerating this or allowing this? You have to make those changes, but you have to be certain in that. You have to be confident in that, and you have to be the one to make the change. Nobody else can do it for you. And I think that's what's so intimidating to especially these young artists, is they didn't even know the possibilities for themselves. They only know what beauty school has taught them. And the truth is, these beauty school teachers are not out there running their own salon. So how can you teach on business when you don't run a business? It's really hard for me to understand. But then have so much to say about somebody who does do that. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of these girls, what was like the best part for them is they could see the possibilities for their life that they were like so closed off to, didn't even think about because they didn't even know that was available to them. Where all of a sudden I introduced this to them and they're like, oh, dreaming big. How many lives a day can I do? How many minutes per live? Whatever. Where that was something they were so turned off by in the beginning and they couldn't even like wrap their head around what that would require of them. Now all of a sudden you open up their eyes to this opportunity and they've got a little fire under them. And here's the thing, they're young, they're motivated, they're excited, they have it. And now I just gave them a blueprint of how to get it. So that feels really good for me. I look around and I say, okay, God, I'm going to use all the knowledge that you gave me and give it back. How can I do that? Get myself in front of these students who I wish I had someone in my life at that age, like myself, to say, do this, don't do that. Invest time here, don't invest time there. Invest money here, not there. And now I can offer that to other people around me. My shadow program is booming right now. We have a wait list of like 18 people. That's great. The chaos of abundance is real though. So I want to help them all. The truth is I can't host that many people in my space on a Monday. So I had 9 shadow students in the salon on Monday, following me around, following Lily around, asking questions, interacting with the clients. I loved it. It's a great experience for them. It's a great experience for me. So I just believe in the power of shifting knowledge and empowering and liberating other people around you. It comes with, having this knowledge comes with a responsibility, I truly believe, that God has called me to share. So that's what I'm doing. It's been pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't speak it, no one knows.
Yeah, it's true. So true. And
that's the hard part for people because we were raised and told that, keep your opinion to yourself and keep, don't show anything and don't, tell people if you're having problems or whatever it might be. But it's like this just flips it on its head. And I could see why you need to do it because people feel alone. Like for me, I was just texting my wife earlier today. I'm like, I feel like I'm the only one going through this. Mm-hmm. And our coach was like, well, just talk about it. Mm-hmm. But I feel like expose it. Like I feel like I'm the only one that is dealing with this. And that's the vulnerability piece that most people don't want to give up because it's scary. It's like, what are people going to say? Mm-hmm. And we're so programmed to worry about what people think and say and what they might, oh my gosh, are these people going to like be okay? It's like that we're so worried about that instead of just being like, hey, my kids are being assholes today. I've kind of had a bad day and
this is where I'm at.
That's where I'm at. And like people are like, yeah, I can relate. Like I have, I got the same thing. People connect with pain but we don't want to share pain. We think our pain's no one cares or it's not that big a deal. Right. But everyone has their thing. And I remember I had a buddy, he had like a crazy testimony about, didn't know who his dad was, find out who his dad was and all this stuff. And he like kept it very like secretive. Like he like doesn't, it's like, hey bro, this is amazing. Like just talk about it. Just talk. Mm-hmm. Like, it's cool. Like people would eat this up and they would
feel inspired by it.
Yeah, they feel inspired. And it's like, if you don't speak, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's so true. I remember that. And you're so right. He was super protective of it. But I think when you found something you've been looking for so long, you're just like nervous. What do I do with it? Yeah. You didn't want to lose it. No, it was a really cool story. I think it all comes down to certainty and confidence and how much are you willing to expose of your life to connect with others. And for Mark and I, we've had to just say it's all out there because that's how we create connection and feelings with people that make them feel safe, make them realize they're not alone. Like Mark just had that thought today. Like, I feel like I'm the only one thinking these thoughts. It's like, no, everybody on this call is probably thinking those same thoughts. And our coach said it like clear as day, like, this is exactly how it is. And Mark's like, oh, good, I'm not alone. And he just like, you felt instant relief, like, okay, I'm not alone in this, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we just need to do that for other people more often. Mm-hmm. That's something that holds you back. Like, it totally is true about like what Mark was saying. Your childhood or upbringing puts these rules on your life that you can't talk about this or whatever. Same for beauty school. You're not allowed to talk about religion, or you're taught not to talk about religion, politics, or sex. Guess what? First 5 minutes of my speech, we were talking about religion, we were talking about politics, and I'm sure I made some sort of reference to sex. So shatter the frame of what you've been taught or told doesn't mean that that is your rule. That's their rule. It doesn't have to be for you. In my salon, we talk about it all so that people can feel they are human and real, and you don't have to be this picture perfect person to come get your hair done in my salon. We want your soul as it is, and we want an opportunity to reach you where you are. And sometimes that comes by exposing ourselves so that you feel safe, secure, and seen. We can do that for you. So yeah, the comment was, I didn't know if I was at church or a Trump rally or some sort of motivational speaking convent. It's good. I executed then. It's exactly what I wanted. But nothing about me is going to change because of the climate of the room. That's important. And in business, you will find that you have more followers that way in that leadership than you will trying to fake it and be somebody that you're not. I did that for a long time. I tried to be so perfect, and it was so fake, because the reality is nobody is perfect. Stop setting yourself up for failure, because you're never going to reach that level of perfection where you can stand in integrity. I couldn't. So instead I said, no, we're going to expose this for what it is, and I'm going to constantly challenge myself to become better, and I want the accountability from the people that stand beside me. The only way that I can do that is to admit that. So that's been powerful for me in my success in both coaching and the salon world.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I like it.
Good day.
Yeah, it's a good day.
Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you are on any of the platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, give us a like and a follow, and we greatly appreciate it. Until next time, we are signing off. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.